Grand Master.
Thank you. About a third and second degree. Welcome. We'll warm up.
Yeah, I have that break.
Yeah.
That's not really break.
Yeah, not really a break. A break comes from Kung Fu, but it's yeah.
Life-changing break.
Yeah, yeah. Having a baby's not a break. Yeah, switch. Right inside. Yeah, I think my next thing, I can feel it now, is I'll go ahead and get at least a light amount of music going. You know, I just need to connect it all. I have enough wiring, I have the same speakers, I have the same system. It's just a matter of like getting the ladder and feeding it across, and then putting the speakers in.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to come in and see like new parts of it. Than have just coming in and having it done.
Yeah.
That made a big difference. That makes it look really good.
Oh yeah. And switch. Oh yeah, Miss Kelly's still here. I'm like, is that noise? All right, left foot forward. Excellent class, Miss Kelly. Really well done.
Thank you. Always helps out with very fair, so
Yeah.
beautiful example.
Oh, yep, that's good. And switch. I don't mind the air conditioning noise compared to how hot the other places would get, and I wouldn't hear the air conditioning hardly. lengthening, marrow washing. All right, let's do a little bit of a racing horse. And release. Breathe out slowly. We'll do a little commencement. Breathe in. Breathe out. and balancing. In, hold the breath, exhale. In, hold the breath, exhale. In, hold the breath, exhale. Couple more. And circle up. And push down. All right. Let's find a good spot. And we'll do the Erlu together. Okay. Thanks. I see that too, and I'm like, oh.
The other foot came closer.
Yeah. All right. So, who would like to give it a shot leading it, or if you have any questions, we can cover any section you want.
Can I take a look at the single whip?
Yep.
So like, I'm not quite sure. I'm just kind of going through the motion as far as
Oh.
putting my hand in. And
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially because it can be different than the other ones. Okay.
Yeah, this is good here.
I gotta buzz them in. He's teaching the next class. All right. Yeah, I mean, let's just start from the beginning. So, we take our step, come up, down, twist, then step. But you know what? I should do, since we did such a good job on the breathing, that all of the Tai Chi is nothing without breathing, right? An apprentice program, or even with teacher training staff, really we say that's the best thing. That's what most students are getting out of it, is that they haven't ever thought about their breathing. And it's easy, including for me, especially if I'm in teacher mode, I'm not thinking about breathing or doing Tai Chi, because I'm teaching Tai Chi, right? So since you already know the routine, I get to switch out of teaching mode and go into practicing mode. And then going through the Qigong, the same thing. They're very simple for this group to do those Qigongs. I go, oh, I get to focus on my breathing. What happens when you do your breathing? It relaxes your body. It calms the nerves, right? And I haven't talked about it for this form. So here we are. We're breathing. And we take a step. And we exhale. And we inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Continue inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale. Hold the breath. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Continue. Exhale. Inhale. There it is. Exhale. Inhale. Continue inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Okay, it might not exactly answer your question for that move, but when I cut apart the inhale and the exhales delineated, then you're like, oh, here, here. So that's the beginning of your single whip, is to go like this, to turn and open your hands equally. So it doesn't look like you're opening your hands equally. If you kept your torso still, it's equal. If you turn your torso as you're opening it, it looks like the left opened more. Okay, so that's an illusion. Just open, and then, actually it goes like this, it's open, close. Open, close. Well, if I turn, open, or I go turning away, open, close, right, and add legs to it. So that's the beginning of your single whip, is, okay, we're here, the birthday pose. We're shifting right, but we're just opening. But when we shift to the right and open the arms, we turn our torso to the left and we sink into this leg, right? So boom, and then when we turn, boom. We have a little pushing off and a little action reaction. I'll do it towards the camera so that everyone can see at home for review as well, and also so you can see me right now as opposed to you watching from the front. I'm in this pose here. I open and close. But when I open, I shift to the right and turn to the left. See, I didn't drop my knee in, I keep my alignment. Then, when I'm ready to go that way, I turn, and these guys come in, and I push off. And then a moment later, the hands come out. That's the action, reaction. And now if I smooth it out, it'll look like more like Chen Bing's video. He goes here, here. So it's like right away. Okay? Yeah, yeah, yes, that's right. Okay, and then we go for more. Okay, so let's go ahead, not much to repeat, so we go here, we open, and it happens real quickly, so right now this is just really accentuating. You barely get to see, but right now you get to, I'm accentuating. You have that shifting there, and then shifting there. Then you have a turning, and bring your elbows into your body, and let this right hand point that way. That's it. And the left hand's pointing that way too. But then you're going to turn, and the right one comes across and goes out, kind of like a 38 form. Then you bring the foot in, step it out, and then the rest of it is like a lot of your other single whips. So, what helps us, Mr. Weiner, you kind of asked this question a few weeks ago. It's like, well, some of those parts are supposed to be slower, it seems like, and all we have to do is focus on our breathing, and the slow parts will slow themselves down.
When you were doing the breathing, you said inhale, exhale, and you went inhale, exhale, and then you could see it's rushed in certain parts. That's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, okay, so let's do the single whip, or from the top, do the single whip with the breathing, and then we'll do other questions, or run the form again, or whatever. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, just the opening, I'll do here. Just step and exhale. And then inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Continue to inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. There you go. Do it from the top again. We have exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Continue inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Continue inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Continue to inhale. Hold the breath for the step and then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Continue. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. To do that faster than to do the breathing, I'll have to practice that.
And then you're putting pauses in parts, and up till this point, you said there was no pauses in a lot of it. Or settles.
Yeah, they're more subtle, it seems.
You might call that the practicing, the way to do it when you're practicing as opposed to when you're performing. Right? So, and we've been mimicking a performance as opposed to a practice. Right? Also, I'm saying it all. And if we didn't say it all, saying it all does take an extra beat. Every time I say it, it's an extra beat that doesn't belong there. Does that make sense? So if you have memorized that, have you memorized it reading up through single whip?
But if we settle, then we can breathe out or do something. If we don't settle, we're gonna have to take the breath into the next part. If there's no settling time.
It's a matter, it's a kind of like a matter of degrees, right? So, so let's call the settles that we all did were long settles. And then when Chen Bing performs it, he does short settles. Is that fair? You know, because I chose the pace right now as if I was in Chung Jin Sai's class and he was teaching. So that's what I was imitating, as opposed to thinking of the performance of Chen Bing doing it, so that we can find the breathing.
Right. 'Cause
Right.
it seemed like more like the 38.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that first part where we do this part,
Mhm.
because we haven't always been stopping here before we do that.
And so, tell me what's my main point?
I don't know if it's better to do even breathing for at least the slow parts, and then the fast is different, or if it's just, you breathe, you know, it just depends. Without settles, it feels like the breathing will be uneven, even in those parts.
So what's my point?
Focus on your breath.
There you go, that's it. Yeah, when you're breathing in, when you're breathing out. And so that method of teaching it or leading it reminds you when to breathe in, when to breathe out. So if I don't say all that, we'll probably, are you doing the breathing at those times? No, you don't know, right? So, I chose to do the performance, like teach it as the performance, right? As opposed to teach it as the practice and then have a performance. Does that make sense? Like I've never, when I've seen Chung Jin Sai do the 38 form, you see a lot, you take all those long settles and they become short settles because he's pulling out the breathing for you to learn it, right? So that's all I'm doing today is pulling out the breathing to learn it. So can you still do the form as you've been doing it all along? Yes, I'm not changing the form. But were you breathing? Had you even thought about it? I hadn't. I've been focusing on teaching it and not practicing it.
Well, one thing about Chen is, especially once we start doing the punches and stuff and the forced exhales, that sort of forces you to get the pattern of the breathing.
For the fast parts.
Yeah.
What about the slowing it down for the slow parts? So let's do it again. Let's do that opening part again and see what happens if I don't say anything. But you also don't forget to do your breathing. Can you do that?
Sure.
Okay, let's try it. That might answer your question. But really at this stage, it's of your training in general, and this stage of the class when everyone pretty much knows the routine, and I'm not showing anyone how to do the moves, then it's internalizing the routine. And just like the Yang style in the 108 Tiger and Crane, you can then focus on when you're breathing. You know, that's one of the things to internalize and to make it your own, right? So. Begin. So on and so forth. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, now it's too fast to really breathe properly.
So, yeah, because what your observation was true. If I don't say it, and then I immediately continue the form, I can do my settling into the next movement. as opposed to settling and start the next movement. Where if you're teaching the form for the first time, you would do the second. You would do the exit. Okay. You can. Did anyone ever do that with the recording I had of Chung Jin Sai? We ever do that? So I had a recording of Chung Jin Sai on the 38.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, okay. Here's a class of students who are new, who are learning the 38. He didn't have Yang stuff. He had 38. So you're a brand new student. Guess what you did for the first 6 months? 38 form. If you're coming to like 2-hour-long classes. And then he can only lead it so many times. He press the tape and he would watch. And every move is punctuated because it has to be punctuated. So it's punctuated by a long, or not at the end of a move. And then 1, next thing, 2, next thing, 3, next thing, just to continue to, rotate it over and over again. So your home practice would be, and even in practice when we don't have students that are new to the form, is what we just did, but remembering the breathing. Yeah. And if you didn't have enough time for the breathing, that tells me that there's a chance that you're thinking that you have to finish breathing in and finish breathing out, which isn't the case. Is that what's going on?
I noticed that.
Yeah, you don't have to finish breathing out. Let me follow his and I'll come back to yours. So I only know this because I was in music and I took singing lessons. You think you take a breath, you have to like sing till you're out of the breath. It's like, no way, you can't do that. By the end of it, you're distorting what you're saying. You have to keep breathing in to create support for your voice, in your body. So you breathe in and there's breath marks on sheet music. And you don't have to take a breath there, but it's like, this is where it makes sense to take a breath because the song won't get messed up. But if you are good enough that you don't need to catch a breath there, then you can keep singing through. But most people have to let too much air out while they breathe out. So they have to breathe in sooner than they're supposed to. So you don't have to breathe all the way out on it.
I gotcha, it's just the past 4 or 5 months, it feels like we're doing the form too fast for quality, so it's like rushed. It just feels like, I guess I'm slow, it just feels rushed, so breathing and all the other, it's not even getting to that. It's literally doing this stuff, it's just rushed.
Yeah, interesting. So by the way, it's not rushed. It's at the speed that he's doing it there.
Right, for him.
Right. Yeah. So so coming up to that standard, how do you do it? I think what we did today is by focusing on the breath, it slows it down, and then we can speed it up. So actually, like slowing it down will get you to go faster. But
Right.
when do we go faster? Right. We're only splitting the experience level between 3. In a normal class, I'd be splitting the experience level through 12 students. Guess what? One person's thinking that we should really be moving on because they could learn more and they're bored, and one person's lost on the other end. And those students, I can't help them that much. It's the middle 10 that they have to adjust, right? Because if I adjust the whole class for the star student who learns quickly, I alienate the student that's not learning as fast, right? Or vice versa, if I slow it all down for the one student who needs me to slow it down all the time, which I tend to do anyways, then the other students are like, yeah, it's just like, I want to learn something more today. So that's the challenge of an instructor. So you can do it best you can. So, do you want to do fan or do you want to lead at one time?
This fan, I don't know. It's up to you.
I vote for fan.
Okay, cool. Let's switch to fan. And these are the challenge you brought up is the challenge of being in a class. My fan is in office. Yeah, take a break and we'll come back and we'll do fan. And in fact, Ms. Burns, or if someone wants to lead it once, that would be great. job, good job. Hey, and on that other form, it is the most challenging, the Chen style, Xinjia Erlu. There isn't a harder empty hand routine in Chen that I'm aware of, right? So I don't want you to beat yourself up too much about how good you get at it and how soon, right? Yeah, I'm here to help you try to get, I mean, that's why I'm here. So you do the best you can. We can always keep busy on new routines, but when we stop and have to dig deeper on our forms, it can seem hopeless sometimes. You want to do it again? Questions about this one? I got to watch you through the window. I haven't got a chance to do that yet.
I only dropped my pan twice, so.
Wait, what?
I only dropped my pan twice, so.
Oh, you dropped your pants. I think you dropped your pants twice, and I'm like, I was watching,
No.
but yeah. I'm like, I didn't see that.
Not quite that bad.
All right, we had like 4 or 5 corrections. It makes sense that before we go on to new corrections, we should look back at those old ones. I have them kind of on the tip of my brain. Do you have some of them? Do you remember any of them?
I know why.
Well, yeah, they were for everyone really, but yeah.
So-
Just give me one.
For me, and I think I did a little better this time, but at the beginning, when we come around here, all right, yeah, we've done this part, the shoulder strike. I still, like you told me last time, I need to be on the back leg. And I think,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
but just like, I guess I've been doing it this whole time where I'm always waiting on the front leg. So now I have to.
yeah, if you think about it as a sweep. So let's review that one, because that'll benefit everyone on this one. So we had this move here, we came up to here, and then we were here, and then we came through. Think about the back foot as a sweep, and that's gonna keep you on the back leg.
Oh, okay.
So
I
are
see.
you still on the back leg?
Yeah.
Now circle around, and Mr. Weiner, I think you missed this correction in last class, but if you think about this with the palm forward, Mr. Haley was right, it is palm forward, it isn't palm down. And then how do you get the action to make the fan open? You turn, keep the weight on the back, but put it on the front, and turn. Yeah, got it. Okay, let's do that one more time. Other end. Yeah, it isn't now. You want to the other end? That's what I said. Okay, so you're here again. So you weren't here. You go up one, go here, and then think of the back leg as a sweep, because it goes way out in front of you too. Then do your circle, go with the right palm forward, weight still on the back leg, and then don't hit yourself in the butt like I did. There we go. Okay. Do you remember another recent correction? Let's do that one more time. Look at that. Over here. Oh, is that here? Here. Here. Circle and yeah. Okay. And yep. And then another one was the punch, right? But I was gonna let y'all pick them. Okay. Yeah. So if we have that, if we're here on should have these pickups better than mine. Oh yeah. So we're here, and one of the corrections was to pull. So there's only one finger, because it's almost like pulling a bow and arrow. So ends up being one finger. Yeah. And it's up at your head level. What did I say that? Right? It's up high. Then we said reach out a lot for this one, and then punch out a lot. If you reach out a lot and punch out a lot, then you can pop here. The popping and the twisting there will have something that's been preloaded. or spring load. Yeah, let's do that one more time. So come here, and then stretch a little bit more, and punch a little bit more, and then that will end up working out. And what was the third one? Do you remember a third one?
The earlier ones,
Yeah, you can pick another one.
well, it's changed. So, in the initial sit back weight, shoulder weight, but then at one point you said this, another point you said this.
Oh, well, the good correction there that you brought up, which was one for almost everyone here, is get that move. So, yeah, here we are. Is that you got to stay back, and that this is an elbow. Right. I mean that's the main one because on occasion I still see this. I still see the shift forward. Yeah, in a second. Right. Yeah. Yeah, as far as the other part, I don't know. It makes sense for it to make a circle down and come up. But it's different than traditional forms, not a traditional form, but a fun form. So, well, speaking of which, we can do it from the top again. first and seek to follow their examples.
Bow to Grand Master Instructor.
Bow to third and second degree Black Sashers. Advanced Black Sash class dismissed.